Hi guys, in this short video I'm going to show you some of the modifications that have been made to Padlet this year. There are some slightly new design elements that I've incorporated just to make it a little bit easier to navigate, and also some additional documents which you can use to plan your time effectively for your studies. So this is your second year Padlet dashboard for your study of Unit 15 Career Planning, 18 Events Management and 19 Developing Teams. As you can see, it's a little bit different to last year because it's broken down into terms rather than it just being one big timeline. I hope that will make it a little bit easier to navigate and for you to find the correct resources. There are two new sections which I've added in there which were never there before, the enrichment section and the getting organised section, which I'm going to tell you a little bit more about in just a moment. We also have a quote of the week, because who doesn't love a bit of philosophical cheesy motivation, and we have an electronic version of Word of the Week where you can submit examples of how you've used this week's word in your academic writing to enter our Word of the Week competition. You will see the Padlet posts now have a comment function which you can use to submit your Word of the Week example, but you can also use it to comment on other posts which will help us adapt to your needs and make sure all your questions are answered. So for example, if there's a particular document that you don't quite understand, you can put questions in there and either myself or other people in the class can respond. In the Getting Organised area, you'll find a document which gives you further clarification on BTEC assessment command verbs. The command verbs for the pass, merit, distinction criteria, they all highlight which skills you need to demonstrate in your written work, so that should be useful for getting your head around the criteria. You will also find in the Getting Organised section all of the deadlines for all of the assessments for these 3 units. Each assessment is scheduled to be completed in class and then is due the following Friday. You will also see in the lesson planning and assessment document that there's an outline of what we're going to be covering in each session and when different trips and guest speakers are going to be coming in to visit. So these are all great things that you need to put in your diary and be aware of. Something that a lot of people struggled with, which was really detrimental to the progress last year, was saving work in an appropriate folder system. Now, if you don't know where you've put things, it's going to make your life so difficult because you need to go back to lots of different documents throughout actually completing an assessment. So getting organised is really important for being successful. Now, in order to do that, I've put a suggested folder storage setup which you can use in your own USB stick or on your own computer. However, I really strongly recommend using OneDrive. The reason being, it's going to automatically save things for you, so it'll really reduce the likelihood of you actually losing your work. Now, on the link in the document, all you need to do is copy and paste that into your OneDrive and it will make those folders there for you. So it's literally a couple of clicks, you've got it all ready to go, and then when you've completed the work for a certain criteria, just pop it in the appropriate folder. Now, you guys know that as part of BTEC rules, if you need an extension, if you don't think you're going to meet that deadline, you must submit an extension request at least 24 hours before the assignment is actually due. Now, because of the way the assessment dates have been planned and those have been sent to the exam board, it allows you the time in class to complete the work, and then you've got a buffer week before the official submission date. So I would hope that it would have to be extremely extenuating circumstances for somebody to put in an extension request, but if you do need one, you can download the document from the Getting Organised section. You need to complete it and then give it to myself or Paula, head of department, to sign, and then that can be authorised. Hopefully you won't need to use that, but if you do, the document's there ready for you to get yourself organised and submit that request for. In the Getting Organised section, you'll also be able to find the specifications from the exam board. Now, these are just documents that highlight exactly what it is you need to study, but also the skills that you must be evidencing in your assessment criteria. So these are just useful things for you guys to have a look at so you can get a bit of an understanding of the units as a whole. Now, it's really important for these units that you're studying with me, Unit 15, 18 and 19, that we can evidence that you are reflective learners who can identify weaknesses in your work and then actually make progress in improving those weaknesses. So we are going to be reflecting quite a lot on the assessments that you take part in this year. It's also really important now in your final year of college that you strategise in terms of what grades you need to get be able to get the UCAS points that you need for university or for your higher level apprenticeships or generally for work. In each term you will find the assignment deadlines for the unit that you're working on that term, lesson plans for what we're going to be doing each session, and then a bank of useful reading which has been carefully selected to help you in that particular unit. There's lots of great stuff in there that I've gathered from some really great resources. The example that you see there is some resources that I got from the University of Huddersfield and Go Higher West Yorkshire scheme. Like last year, all our lesson information, the PowerPoints, the Word documents, templates, etc. are in the week that you will be studying it, and all the dates are highlighted there for you at the top. So everything that we use in the classroom you have access to on here. And again, you've got the comment function, so if you've got any questions about a particular topic we've been looking at, feel free to put your questions on there. In your final year of study, you've got some great opportunities to take part in extracurricular activities that will really help you develop your skills in a practical way and give you some fabulous evidence for your CV and personal statements. One really great thing to get involved in is our student ambassador team, which you can apply for up until the 24th of September. There's some different kind of job roles that you could actually take up. For example, you could focus on marketing, you could focus on well-being, have a look at the different options there and submit an application. It's well worthwhile doing. You might also decide that, especially if you're combining BTEC with an examining subject, you need just some space to relax and chill out. If that's the case, then come along to our Calm group every Wednesday at 12:15 in room 308. It's just a quiet space where you can have a cup of tea and take part in some activities, just to have a little bit of downtime. On the Padlet there's also some really great resources in terms of how you can improve your well-being and different techniques and things that you can use. So I hope the new additions to the Padlet have been useful for you. It's going to be a really, really good year.